How to build discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, discipline is the cornerstone of a well-lived life. Without it, we flounder in chaos, unable to harness our potential or pursue our goals. Discipline is not a luxury or a rare gift reserved for a select few. It is a necessity for anyone seeking purpose, growth, and achievement. Yet it is often misunderstood. Discipline is not about harshness or rigidity. It's about aligning your actions with your values consistently and with intention. It's about becoming the kind of person who can withstand the trials of life and emerge stronger. Today, I want to guide you through the essential principles of building discipline, principles that, if applied, can transform your life and set you on a path to meaning and fulfillment. Number 1. Take responsibility for your life. Discipline begins with accepting responsibility. You must recognize that you are not a victim of circumstance, but an active participant in shaping your future. This means acknowledging your shortcomings without self-pity and committing to improve. Responsibility is not a burden. It's the foundation of freedom. Discipline begins with taking responsibility for your life, a fundamental principle that shifts your perspective from being at the mercy of circumstances to becoming an active agent in your own story. Responsibility is about recognizing that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you have immense power over how you respond. It requires a deliberate acknowledgement that your actions, choices, and mindset shape your outcomes. Without this foundation, discipline cannot flourish, as it thrives on the understanding that change starts with you. Accepting responsibility involves a clear-eyed appraisal of your current situation, including your strengths, weaknesses, and the obstacles you face. This process is not about self-pity or assigning blame, it's about ownership. When you admit your role in your successes and failures, you reclaim your power to influence the future. A victim mindset, one that attributes all challenges to external forces, leaves no room for growth because it relinquishes control. Responsibility, on the other hand, is empowering. It shifts the narrative from "why is this happening to me" to "what can I do about this?" Responsibility is not a burden, but a gateway to freedom. By taking responsibility, you free yourself from the constraints of passivity and excuse-making. It allows you to set goals, create plans, and take deliberate action toward a better future. This mindset fosters resilience because it helps you see challenges not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities to adapt, learn, and grow. Responsibility also builds confidence. Each time you take charge and follow through, you prove to yourself that you are capable of influencing your circumstances. To illustrate, consider the story of a student struggling academically. Initially, the student might blame their poor performance on external factors, the difficulty of the material, a lack of resources, or even unfair grading. This perspective absolves them of accountability, but also leaves them powerless to improve. However, when the student decides to take responsibility, their approach changes. They acknowledge areas where they've fallen short. Perhaps they've been procrastinating or not seeking help when needed, and commit to improving. They create a study schedule, seek advice from peers and teachers, and use available resources. Over time, their grades improve, not because the material became easier or the grading changed, but because they changed. By taking responsibility, they transformed their situation through effort and discipline. This example demonstrates that responsibility is not about blaming yourself for everything, but about identifying where you have influence and acting on it. It's about understanding that while life is unpredictable, your responses are within your control. By accepting responsibility, you position yourself as the author of your own story, capable of shaping the narrative instead of being swept along by external forces. This shift in mindset is the first and most crucial step toward building discipline and achieving meaningful progress in any area of life. Number 2, define your goals clearly. You cannot build discipline without a destination in mind. Discipline requires purpose, and purpose comes from clarity. Write down your goals, whether they are related to your health, career, relationships, or personal growth. Be specific. A vague goal like I want to be successful will not guide you. A concrete one like I want to earn a degree in the next 3 years will. Discipline is fundamentally tied to purpose, and purpose comes from having clear, well-defined goals. Without a specific destination, discipline lacks direction, and your efforts can become scattered and ineffective. Clear goals serve as a guiding compass, providing focus and motivation to persist even when challenges arise. They transform abstract aspirations into tangible objectives, giving structure and meaning to your actions. To define your goals clearly, begin by identifying what truly matters to you. This requires introspection and honesty about your values and priorities. A goal must be personal and meaningful, something that resonates with your sense of purpose and motivates you to act. Once you've identified your objectives, articulate them in specific terms. A vague goal like I want to be healthy is difficult to measure or achieve. In contrast, a concrete goal such as I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months by exercising 3 times a week and eating balanced meals provides a clear target and actionable steps. Specificity not only makes the goal more achievable, but also allows you to track progress and adjust your approach as needed. Writing down your goals is another critical step. The act of committing your objectives to paper transforms them from fleeting thoughts into concrete plans. It also helps clarify your intentions, making them more tangible and less susceptible to distraction or doubt. Written goals serve as a constant reminder of what you're working toward, reinforcing your commitment and providing a sense of accountability. Clarity in goal setting also means breaking larger aspirations into smaller, manageable milestones. Lofty goals can be inspiring, but they can also feel overwhelming if approached as a single massive undertaking. Dividing them into incremental steps makes progress attainable and builds momentum. For example, if your goal is to write a book, you might set milestones such as completing an outline, writing 1 chapter per month, and revising a draft by a specific date. Each small victory reinforces your discipline and propels you closer to the ultimate goal. An excellent example of the power of clear goals is the story of an individual preparing for a marathon. At first, the idea of running 26.2 miles seems daunting and nearly impossible. However, instead of focusing solely on the end result, they set specific incremental goals, running 3 miles without stopping, then 5 miles, and gradually increasing the distance over time. They create a training schedule outlining daily and weekly targets and commit to following it. By breaking the challenge into smaller, measurable steps, they stay motivated and disciplined throughout the process. Eventually, they achieve their goal, not by sheer willpower alone, but by adhering to a clear, structured plan. This example illustrates how clarity in goal setting provides a roadmap for discipline. When your goals are specific, measurable, and actionable, they create a sense of purpose and direction. They give you a reason to persevere, even when faced with setbacks, because you can see the path ahead and know that each step brings you closer to your destination. Defining your goals clearly is not just an exercise in organization, it's a powerful tool for harnessing your discipline and achieving meaningful success. Number 3, start with small, achievable steps. Grand ambitions often falter because they feel overwhelming. The key is to start small. If your goal is to exercise daily, begin with 5 minutes a day. Success at smaller tasks builds momentum, and momentum builds discipline. Over time, these small victories compound into significant change. Big goals often carry an inherent risk. They can seem so vast and unattainable that they paralyze you before you even begin. The solution lies in starting with small, achievable steps that allow you to build momentum. This approach acknowledges the human tendency to feel overwhelmed by large tasks while leveraging the psychological boost that comes from accomplishing manageable objectives. Small steps not only make the process feel less intimidating, but also create a foundation of success upon which discipline can grow. When you take small, consistent actions toward a goal, you establish a routine that reinforces discipline. These actions might seem insignificant in isolation, but their cumulative impact can be profound. Success in these smaller tasks provides immediate feedback and satisfaction, which motivates you to continue. For instance, if your goal is to get fit, deciding to start with 5 minutes of exercise per day is far less daunting than committing to an hour-long workout right away. Those 5 minutes are manageable and leave you with a sense of accomplishment, encouraging you to return to the habit the next day. Over time, those 5 minutes can grow into 10, then 20, and eventually a full routine. This principle applies to all areas of life. Small steps allow you to build skills, habits, and confidence incrementally. They also help mitigate the fear of failure, as the stakes of any single step are low. By focusing on what you can accomplish today, you avoid the trap of procrastination or the urge to give up due to the enormity of the end goal. Another key advantage of starting small is that it allows you to adapt and refine your approach as you progress. A massive undertaking often feels rigid and unforgiving, but smaller steps give you the flexibility to adjust based on your experiences. This adaptability makes the journey more sustainable, as you can address obstacles without feeling like the entire endeavor is at risk. Consider the story of a writer aiming to complete a novel. The prospect of producing a 300-page manuscript can feel overwhelming, especially for someone with limited experience or time. Instead of attempting to write entire chapters in one sitting, the writer sets a goal of writing 200 words per day. This is a small, achievable target that fits into even the busiest schedule. By sticking to this routine, they find themselves making steady progress. At the end of a month, those daily 200 words add up to 6,000, a significant portion of the novel. This success builds their confidence, and they gradually increase their output. Over time, what started as a modest daily effort leads to the completion of the book. This example highlights the power of starting small. Each small step serves as a building block, reinforcing the discipline needed to sustain progress. It's not about achieving monumental success overnight, but about cultivating the habits and mindset that make long-term success inevitable. By embracing small, achievable steps, you create a path to significant change, one step at a time. Number 4, structure your environment for success. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your behavior. Surround yourself with tools and triggers that support your discipline. If you want to read more, leave books where you can see them. If you aim to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nourishing options. Discipline thrives in environments designed for success. Your environment profoundly influences your actions, often in ways you may not consciously realize. By structuring your surroundings to align with your goals, you create conditions that support discipline and make positive behaviors easier to adopt. When your environment is set up to reinforce the habits you want to cultivate, it reduces friction and eliminates unnecessary reliance on willpower, allowing discipline to thrive. An environment conducive to success minimizes distractions and encourages focus. If you want to develop the habit of reading, for example, leaving books within arm's reach or placing one on your bedside table ensures it's always visible and accessible. In contrast, if your goal is to limit time spent on your phone, keeping it out of sight or in another room while you work creates a physical barrier that makes it harder to give in to temptation. Small changes in how your environment is organized can make significant differences in your ability to stay disciplined. Designing a supportive environment also involves removing triggers that encourage unproductive or harmful behaviors. If you're trying to eat healthier, keeping junk food out of the house reduces the likelihood of impulsive snacking. Instead, stocking your pantry and fridge with nutritious options ensures that the easiest choices align with your goals. The key is to make the desired behavior the default and the undesired behavior inconvenient. A well-structured environment also helps establish routines and cues for action. These cues act as reminders, signaling your brain that it's time to engage in a particular activity. For instance, setting up a dedicated workspace for studying or working ensures that every time you sit at that desk, your mind associates it with focus and productivity. Conversely, using the same space for distractions, like watching videos or playing games, can blur those mental associations and weaken your discipline. Another benefit of an intentional environment is its ability to inspire and motivate. Surrounding yourself with visual reminders of your goals, such as a vision board, a motivational quote, or a calendar marking your progress, keeps your objectives front and center. This constant reinforcement helps you stay committed, even when motivation wanes. For example, consider someone who wants to start a consistent workout routine. They set up a designated area at home for exercise, complete with a yoga mat, weights, and a playlist of energizing music. They lay out their workout clothes the night before and place their running shoes by the door. By creating an environment that makes exercising easy and inviting, they remove obstacles that might otherwise derail their efforts. Even on days when motivation is low, the presence of this setup acts as a nudge, reminding them to stick to their commitment. This example illustrates how a well-structured environment simplifies the path to discipline. It minimizes the effort required to make good decisions and reinforces the behaviors you want to adopt. Discipline is not just about sheer willpower, it's about creating a system that sets you up for success. By taking control of your surroundings, you take a powerful step toward building and sustaining the discipline needed to achieve your goals. Number 5. Embrace discomfort and confront resistance. Discipline requires you to do what is necessary, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. Resistance is inevitable, but it's also an opportunity. Each time you overcome resistance, you strengthen your resolve. View discomfort as a test of your character and a stepping stone to growth. Discipline often demands facing discomfort and overcoming resistance, both of which are unavoidable aspects of personal growth. Many people associate discomfort with something to avoid, but it is, in fact, a signal of growth and progress. True discipline is the ability to act not only when it is easy or convenient, but also when it is difficult, inconvenient, or even painful. The willingness to embrace discomfort and confront resistance is what separates fleeting effort from lasting commitment. Resistance often manifests as procrastination, self-doubt, or excuses. These internal barriers are natural but must be recognized for what they are: temporary obstacles that test your resolve. By choosing to act in spite of resistance, you develop resilience and strengthen your capacity for discipline. Each instance of pushing through discomfort is like a mental workout, reinforcing your ability to persevere and endure challenges. Over time, this builds a powerful habit of perseverance, enabling you to face even greater difficulties with confidence. Discomfort is also an essential teacher. It reveals weaknesses, highlights areas for improvement, and forces you to adapt. When you view discomfort not as a threat, but as an opportunity, you reframe your challenges into stepping stones for growth. For instance, public speaking can be an intimidating experience, especially for someone unaccustomed to it. The discomfort of standing before an audience, coupled with the fear of judgment or failure, can feel overwhelming. Yet, with each speech delivered, the speaker learns, grows more confident, and becomes more skilled. What once felt unbearable eventually becomes second nature, and the growth achieved through confronting that discomfort is undeniable. A significant aspect of confronting resistance is understanding that it is temporary. The discomfort you feel when tackling a hard task diminishes with action. Starting is often the hardest part. Once momentum builds, resistance weakens, and the task becomes more manageable. This is why discipline requires a willingness to begin, even when every fiber of your being resists. For example, consider someone training for a marathon. In the early stages of their training, they may struggle with the physical discomfort of running long distances and the mental resistance that tells them to quit. On particularly grueling days, the temptation to skip a run might be strong. However, by lacing up their shoes and running anyway, they not only complete the workout but also fortify their mindset. Over time, the discomfort of running becomes less daunting, and they grow stronger physically and mentally. On race day, their ability to endure the inevitable challenges of the marathon is a direct result of their repeated willingness to embrace discomfort during training. This example illustrates that confronting resistance is not about eliminating it, but about rising above it. Every time you overcome a challenge, you grow more capable and disciplined. Discomfort is not the enemy, it is a catalyst for transformation. By embracing it and confronting resistance head-on, you unlock your potential and build the fortitude necessary to achieve meaningful success. Number 6. Build routines and habits. Habits are the automation of discipline. Once an action becomes habitual, it requires less willpower to perform. Start by creating routines that align with your goals. Wake up at the same time each day. Dedicate time to your priorities and protect these habits fiercely. Discipline is sustained not through sheer willpower, but by building routines and habits that align with your goals. Habits are powerful because they automate behavior, reducing the mental effort required to perform tasks consistently. Instead of relying on momentary bursts of motivation, habits create a framework that supports sustained effort over time. When an action becomes habitual, it transitions from a conscious decision to an automatic response, freeing up mental energy for other pursuits. The foundation of habits lies in routines, deliberate sequences of actions that are repeated consistently. Routines provide structure to your day, ensuring that your priorities are addressed without unnecessary deliberation. For instance, waking up at the same time every morning creates predictability, signaling your brain that it's time to start the day. Establishing a consistent morning routine, such as exercising, meditating, or planning your tasks, sets a positive tone and anchors the day in purposeful action. Building habits begins with identifying key behaviors that align with your goals. Start small and focus on consistency. A habit doesn't need to be grand to be impactful. Even minor actions repeated regularly can lead to significant outcomes. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, committing to a 5-minute walk each day is a manageable first step. Over time, this small action can evolve into a more comprehensive fitness routine as the habit solidifies. Protecting your habits is equally important. Life is full of distractions and competing demands that can derail even the best intentions. Safeguard your routines by prioritizing them and eliminating unnecessary obstacles. For instance, if you've committed to writing for 30 minutes every morning, set up a distraction-free environment and schedule this time as non-negotiable. Consistency is key. The more you repeat an action, the stronger the habit becomes. Another critical aspect of habit formation is understanding the cue behavior reward cycle. Habits are formed when a specific cue triggers a behavior that leads to a reward. By identifying cues and intentionally associating them with desired actions, you can create a loop that reinforces positive habits. For example, if you want to develop the habit of reading daily, placing a book on your pillow serves as a cue to read before bed. The act of reading becomes the behavior, and the sense of relaxation or learning becomes the reward. Consider the story of a musician learning to play an instrument. At first, daily practice might feel tedious or even discouraging due to slow progress. However, by committing to a routine of practicing for 20 minutes every evening after dinner, they create a habit. The consistent effort leads to incremental improvement, and the satisfaction of mastering a new piece of music serves as a reward that reinforces the habit. Over time, the act of practicing becomes second nature, requiring little conscious effort to initiate. This example illustrates the power of habits in automating discipline. By building routines that align with your goals and protecting them from disruption, you create a system that sustains progress with minimal resistance. Habits remove the friction of decision-making, allowing you to focus your energy on growth and achievement. Number 7. Learn from failure, not fear it. Failure is not the opposite of discipline, it is part of the process. You will falter, it is inevitable. What matters is how you respond. Analyze your mistakes, adjust your approach, and persist. The ability to rise after failure is a hallmark of true discipline. Failure is an inevitable part of any journey that requires discipline. It is not a signal to stop, but an opportunity to learn and grow. True discipline is not about avoiding mistakes or setbacks, it is about how you respond to them. Viewing failure as a teacher rather than an adversary allows you to gain valuable insights, refine your strategies, and build resilience. The process of facing failure, analyzing it, and moving forward strengthens your character and solidifies your commitment to your goals. Fear of failure can be paralyzing. It often prevents people from taking risks or trying new things, keeping them stuck in a cycle of inaction. However, failure is rarely final. It is a step in the process of achieving success. When you embrace failure as an expected part of progress, it loses its power to intimidate. Instead, it becomes a necessary checkpoint on the path to mastery, offering lessons that cannot be learned through success alone. Analyzing failure is crucial. When things don't go as planned, resist the urge to dwell on the disappointment or assign blame. Instead, take a step back and evaluate what went wrong. Was the plan flawed? Did you underestimate the effort required? Were external factors at play? Identifying the root cause allows you to adjust your approach and avoid repeating the same mistakes. This process requires humility and self-awareness, but ultimately leads to growth. It is equally important to persist after failure. Many people give up too soon, interpreting setbacks as evidence that their goals are unattainable. However, persistence in the face of failure is a hallmark of true discipline. Each time you rise after falling, you reinforce your ability to persevere. This resilience not only helps you achieve your immediate objectives, but also prepares you for future challenges. Consider the story of an entrepreneur who launches a new business. Despite meticulous planning, the venture struggles in its first year, leading to financial losses and mounting stress. At this point, it would be easy to abandon the effort and deem it a failure. Instead, the entrepreneur chooses to analyze what went wrong. They discover that their marketing strategy was ineffective and that they underestimated their target audience's needs. Armed with this knowledge, they revise their approach, adjust their messaging, and improve their product. Slowly but surely, the business gains traction, eventually becoming successful. The initial failure was not the end, but a necessary step toward eventual success. This example illustrates the transformative power of learning from failure. It shows that setbacks are not permanent and that disciplined persistence can turn even the most daunting challenges into stepping stones for growth. Failure tests your resolve, but it also builds it. By embracing failure as part of the process, analyzing your mistakes, and persisting despite setbacks, you cultivate a disciplined mindset that is resilient, adaptive, and ultimately unstoppable. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about perseverance and the ability to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles arise. Number 8, seek accountability and support. Discipline is not always a solitary pursuit. Share your goals with someone you trust or join a community that supports your aspirations. Accountability can provide the encouragement and pressure you need to stay on track. Discipline, while deeply personal, is often strengthened when shared with others. Seeking accountability and support creates a structure that keeps you aligned with your goals, even when motivation wanes. The presence of someone who is aware of your intentions, be it a trusted individual or a community, provides both encouragement and a gentle pressure to stay on course. Accountability transforms discipline from an internal struggle into a shared commitment, making the journey more manageable and rewarding. When you share your goals with someone, you create a system of checks and balances. Knowing that someone else is invested in your progress adds a layer of responsibility, as you are less likely to abandon your efforts when someone else is aware of them. This external accountability serves as a powerful motivator, particularly during moments of doubt or temptation to give up. A simple question from an accountability partner such as, "How is your progress going?" can reignite your focus and remind you of your commitment. Support from others also provides a source of encouragement during challenging times. Pursuing long-term goals often involves setbacks and plateaus, which can feel isolating if faced alone. Having someone to share your struggles with or celebrate small victories alongside can make the process less daunting. This emotional reinforcement builds resilience, helping you persevere through difficulties. Community support can amplify these benefits. Joining a group with shared goals fosters a sense of belonging and collective effort. In a community, you can exchange advice, share experiences, and draw inspiration from others' successes. Whether it's a fitness class, a study group, or an online forum, the collective energy of a supportive group can sustain discipline by normalizing effort and perseverance. To make accountability effective, it's essential to choose the right people. Trust is critical, as you need to feel comfortable sharing your aspirations and setbacks openly. Look for individuals who will provide constructive feedback rather than criticism and who genuinely want to see you succeed. Similarly, if you're part of a community, ensure it aligns with your values and goals to avoid unnecessary distractions or conflicting advice. Consider the story of a student preparing for a rigorous exam. Studying alone, they find it hard to stay consistent, often procrastinating or losing focus. They decide to form a study group with a few classmates who share the same goal. The group sets specific times to meet and holds each other accountable for completing assignments and reviewing material. On days when the student feels unmotivated, the commitment to the group compels them to show up and contribute. Over time, the mutual accountability and shared determination lead to better preparation and higher confidence for the exam. This example highlights how accountability and support transform the pursuit of discipline. While the drive to succeed ultimately comes from within, the involvement of others provides reinforcement, guidance, and encouragement. By seeking accountability and support, you harness the collective power of shared effort, ensuring that you remain steadfast in your journey toward personal growth and achievement. Number 9. Balance discipline with compassion. While discipline demands effort and consistency, it must be tempered with self-compassion. You are human, and you will stumble. Treat yourself with understanding, but don't allow excuses to become your crutch. Balance firmness with kindness. Discipline is a powerful tool for personal growth and achievement, but it must be balanced with self-compassion to be sustainable. Pursuing goals with unwavering determination is admirable, but expecting perfection is unrealistic. Humans are inherently imperfect, and setbacks are inevitable. When you treat yourself with understanding during difficult moments, you create a supportive environment for long-term growth. Balancing discipline with compassion allows you to stay on track without being consumed by guilt or frustration when things go awry. Self-compassion is not about making excuses or lowering your standards. It's about acknowledging your humanity and maintaining perspective. When you stumble, it's easy to fall into the trap of harsh self-criticism, which can erode motivation and lead to a cycle of defeat. Instead, self-compassion helps you reframe setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. It encourages you to ask constructive questions: what went wrong? And what can I do differently next time, rather than why am I such a failure? This balance requires a delicate interplay between kindness and accountability. Compassion does not mean indulging in excuses or avoiding responsibility. Rather, it is about maintaining a firm yet forgiving attitude. If you miss a workout or procrastinate on a task, for instance, acknowledge the lapse, forgive yourself, and commit to getting back on track without letting the setback spiral into a pattern. Compassion also fosters resilience. When you treat yourself with understanding, you're more likely to bounce back from failures rather than be immobilized by them. This resilience ensures that discipline remains a positive force in your life rather than a source of constant pressure. Recognizing that progress is nonlinear and that every effort counts helps you stay committed even in the face of challenges. An excellent example of balancing discipline with compassion can be seen in the life of an artist working on a long-term project. Imagine a painter who sets a goal to complete a series of 10 paintings in 6 months. For weeks, they work diligently, maintaining a consistent schedule. But halfway through, they hit a creative block and fall behind. Instead of berating themselves for the delay, they take a step back to assess the situation. They realize they need a short break to recharge their creativity. During this time, they reflect on their process, explore new ideas, and return to their work with renewed focus. Their self-compassion not only prevents burnout, but also enables them to complete the project with higher quality and greater satisfaction. This example underscores that self-compassion does not weaken discipline, it strengthens it. By treating themselves with kindness, the painter avoids unnecessary frustration and sustains their commitment to the goal. Similarly, when you balance firmness with understanding, you create a mindset that supports consistent effort while allowing room for growth and recovery. Discipline is most effective when it operates within the framework of compassion, helping you push forward without losing sight of your well-being. In this way, you build a sustainable and fulfilling path towards success. Building discipline is not a one-time act, it is a lifelong practice. It requires patience, effort, and commitment, but the rewards are immeasurable. Discipline is not a form of oppression, it is liberation. It frees you to pursue your dreams, fulfill your potential, and live a life of meaning and purpose. So take the first step today. Identify one area where you can act with greater discipline and commit to it wholeheartedly. With each disciplined choice, you will become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more capable of facing the chaos of life. Remember, discipline is not the enemy of freedom, it is its greatest ally. Thank you.